the show where the hosts are on fire and the topics are as cool can get. Well, maybe we're not on fire, but my Surface Go 2 almost was at the start of the show. Apparently Discord, XSplit VCam, Audacity, OneNote, and a web browser is a little bit much for the poor guy.
And this fan wasn't enough to save it.
Yeah, almost.
I feel like a bit of deja vu, boys. I'm just saying.
No.
Feels like tech is not our friend tonight.
Yeah, not at all. This episode is number 26, recorded December 5th, 2020, and we're recording nearly 2 hours later tonight. An hour and a half of that is mine for the Surface Go 2, and then we had a recording gremlin that decided to gobble up one of the audio files about halfway through.
Damn you, recording gremlin, motherfucker. We'll get you.
So, we're calling an audible. We're making this a two-topic, shorter style episode this week, just so that we can all have a little bit of sanity after the craziness of pre-show and
attempted show
part
point
0.
1.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Cody, down below. Charlie, over there. Colton, down there.
Hello.
Mjolnir, Psychonitrous, Dracanis, Seeker 4761.
Dracanis?
That's
Dracanis is this now?
Dracanis. Actually, my gaming logo is Captain Drac, and it has like Kraken beard. I will put that up next
to be
week.
fair, Dracanis, or well, technically, I'm Seeker 4761, 4761.
Which is hopefully how many takes we don't have to take.
God,
well, we're on number 2, so we have a long way to go. let's make this one a good one.
So help me.
So, Cody, you're introducing the first topic this week.
Yes, so we are going to talk about Android apps that are apparently coming to the computer, which is exciting.
Hey, whoa, you're supposed to use the tagline from down below.
It wasn't there.
There is no tagline there.
There's no
Because
tagline.
your
The
shit is
tagline
not
does not
working.
exist. So I just
Okay,
was
here.
literal.
Here, let me
What you got?
copy paste that for you real
God,
quick.
if this is not like a comedy of errors at this fucking point. I am not drunk enough for this.
We are powering through it, boys. This is what podcasters call professionalism. So
No, this is when
Nothing-
professionalism needs to take a vacation. Preferably
Oh, God.
somewhere warm and beachy, like behind
yeah,
Psychometrix.
where
Although
is that,
It's a
Psycho?
little breezy.
It's a different spot in Koh Samui. I forget what it's labeled as. Let's see. Have to find that live stream again. Unless I actually removed it. Yeah, I don't have the website because I just copied it in there and then I was like, hey, you don't need a browser tab taking up more memory. So
Perfect.
it's on
Sweet.
Koh Samui. Go drive around Koh Samui. It's fun. It'll only
You'll
take
find
you
it
like
eventually.
You'll
an
find
hour
it.
to drive around the entire island. Yeah.
And for topic number 2, Charlie's going to tell us how, unlike Boris, there is a site out there that is in fact not invincible.
And I'm just gonna do this. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Oh.
That's a cool video. It's also an incredibly
Loud.
sad video.
Well, also
Yeah.
loud.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
So was that a
Nice.
controlled...
Oh no.
No.
No, it was not.
So we're
No, it was
starting
not.
with topic 2 because it's
Yeah,
we're already
absolutely.
into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if anybody doesn't know, this is from the movie GoldenEye, but not
Yeah.
its sole purpose. Although
It wasn't a set piece designed for
yeah, they
the
didn't
movie. Cody.
spend millions
So-
of dollars.
For those of you guys who don't know, this is the Arecibo Array in Puerto Rico. It's otherwise known as the National Astronomy and Ionosphere Center.
I thought you were gonna say a pile of rubble.
NAIC. Yeah, well, this was also, in addition to pop culture references of GoldenEye, where the final battle between 007 and 005 or 004, one of the two, is
006,
fighting it out.
I think.
Is it
Troubling.
006?
I want to say. I really think it's 006.
It's another 00 agent that's gone bad.
Yeah.
They're fighting on the trundle.
Or Janus.
The trellis right there.
Yep.
And when it falls, Boris is screaming, "I am invincible," and then gets sprayed with the nitrogen and then freezes and breaks.
Yeah, like this.
Yeah. Well, this was the second largest radio telescope in the world, but for 53 years it was number one. It is a 305 meter, 1,000 foot spherical reflector dish built into a natural sinkhole with cable-mounted steerable receiver and several radar transmitters for emitting signals mounted 150 meters above the dish. Completed in 1963, it was the world's largest single aperture telescope for 53 years. Surpassed in 2016 by a 500-meter aperture in China. Following 2 cable breaks supporting the receiver platform in the prior months, the National Science Foundation stated on November 19th of 2020 that it was decommissioning the telescope. However, on December 1st, before any deconstruction could happen, this happened.
Yep. Cable.
And
there's actually another video that shows the failure from the cable side, and it is gnarly.
There was actually a drone in the air looking at the cable, and the drone's right here, and it is you can't.
If you just put it in post too.
Yeah.
The shot.
But it's watching the cables, and you can actually see the paint popping off the individual splices as it fails. That's a 170-ton trellis. There were employees of the telescope on site at the time of collapse. Thankfully, no one is actually hurt. If anyone had been even touched by one of those cables, limb and or body would have been severed in 2 pieces instantly.
Yeah.
But this is a tremendous loss for science. It withstood hurricanes, earthquakes. 60 years of service, and
it's
2020.
I mean, those drone videos are going to be, and all of the footage for this, it analyzed excruciatingly by engineers to determine what started causing the failure. And I mean, this has been like you said it yourself. So I think initially there was an issue in August. Was the first one? So August, then November, then the final demise of the site. And
I mean, wasn't it only like a couple weeks before where they said they're not going to try and fix it?
November 19th.
Yeah, which, I mean, that's impressive that they knew it was going to happen. It was inevitable, but
they weren't even going
our luck.
I think they weren't even going to deconstruct it after that point too, because they knew that it was
too dangerous.
Yeah.
So this is actually also my favorite Battlefield 4 map. Rogue Transmission takes place on this map. And you're fighting over here, and one of the things you can do is throw charges on the anchor point over here and actually make this thing collapse. And it's striking how much of a similarity there is to because underneath this dish is not ground. It's anchored and supported. So you can actually walk underneath this thing, underneath the concrete, and the perspective you have now of it is almost identical to the one in game. It's incredible.
Maybe engineers should study Battlefield 4.
Yeah.
You could get a lot of people on your next game where they're just looking up at it and you're just like poning some noobs. Anyway.
Yeah.
Knowing our luck, I feel this is the day that aliens finally, that signal the aliens sent 60 years ago finally comes, and there's no one to answer.
Well, the good thing
Yeah.
about the one in China is we have, Earth has a redundant one. However, now when they were operating concurrently, you had one on basically either side of the world. So
Full coverage.
yeah,
now
you
we only
had-
half bandwidth,
Yep.
half duplex.
Now, important to note that neither one of these satellites, either this or FAST on the other side of the planet, are set up for SETI. They are not actively trying to detect transmissions from other worlds. What they were actually studying is ionosphere and what's the word I'm looking for? Bollocks. Technical difficulties
Bollocks.
continue.
Okay.
This is one of the first telescopes to detect an exoplanet.
Oh.
It was staring at a planet, specifically at a pulsar, so long, and it had this, pulsars, the moniker in science is that you can set your watch by them because they oscillate at a perfect interval. They're very consistent. But this particular pulsar it was looking at had an additional wobble, and its frequency was that of about a calendar year. And they actually detected it as a celestial body transiting in front of the perspective of the radio telescope.
Oh,
Wow.
that's cool. So, are there any plans to rebuild, or not rebuild, but build another one? Rebuild it.
The National Science Foundation is going to be the benefactor of a very large GoFundMe project. I am expecting the science community and, probably not as much as the GoFundMe for Notre Dame, but pretty close. I expect them to rebuild here.
Okay.
I'm also hoping that they can maybe take the title back, but there may not be a need of that.
Yeah.
Oh, there's always a need to be bigger.
Well, first we need a president that actually is willing to invest in infrastructure in Puerto Rico because he doesn't think that it's not part of our country.
True.
Eh,
Hopefully,
hopefully they have a good
what,
marketing
little over
team.
a month?
Yeah. Yep. 35 days, 45 days. Who's
Anyway.
Yeah. 40 days.
Science.
Let's talk about
Science.
some apps coming to PC. This sounds
Yeah.
interesting. Is it all apps? Is it a few apps? Is it only the apps we don't care about? And will be
Brandon, how do you
pointless anyway?
computer?
Also, yes, how do you compute? Or computer?
So here's the let me log back in. Here is the tagline that I was hoping Cody would say, and we actually got Charlie to say it.
Oh.
And now we don't have proof of Charlie saying it because of the audio gremlin.
Ha 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 ha!
You bastard. Codename Latte. I wonder if it'll come in pumpkin flavor. So, Codename Latte, or Project Latte, is the codename for an internal Microsoft project centering around bringing Android apps to Windows. This is a rumor, so while the tech community is fairly certain that the project is being worked on, whether or not it's actually coming to users in the next year is up to debate. The rumor is it'll be coming out 21H2, so the second half of next year. Also, there is the question of if it does come to a device near us, what is it going to look like? So the kind of thought process right now is that they are going to allow developers to port over these APK files, run them through a converter, and then put them onto the Windows Store. The problem is, well, Windows certainly not going to pay for the licensing fee to put Google Play and Google Services into the Microsoft Store. So a little bit of it is going to be reliant upon the app developers to actually utilize the tools to port it and put it into the Windows Store.
My
And a lot of
confidence in
people-
that is very low.
Yeah,
Looking at
I mean, because
the past. Look at history.
well,
I think
look
Google
at
will
the-
have to create their own launcher for it, honestly.
Why would Google want to put it on Windows? They
Because-
would rather you buy a $200 Chromebook and run the apps on it, or buy
They'll just use web apps.
Android
They just keep it on
book,
the
or
web.
use your phone.
Maybe for the betterment of humanity. No.
They removed that "don't be evil" thing out of their motto, so no.
Yeah.
Oh, they
No.
did.
Yeah, that was
No.
a whole thing last year, I
Yeah.
think.
Wow.
Yep.
They removed it.
It's okay to be evil.
For Google, yes.
If you're Google.
Good to know.
Yeah. But I mean, and this is a Microsoft project trying to bring it across, so I don't foresee Google being like, "Oh, well, here, let's put the Play Store on this." So a lot of people in the tech community are kind of asking why. Why does this make sense for Microsoft? Why would Microsoft bother trying to create these tools to entice app developers for Android apps to bring those apps to Windows? And I think that there are two possible answers to that. So the first one, and this one is stealing a little bit from Mary Jo Foley from All About Windows from the This Week in Tech network. So her thought is that maybe on the next Duo, Microsoft is trying to replace the Play Store with an Android Microsoft Store for the Surface Duo. I don't think that's quite right. It's an interesting thought, but there have been other third-party stores on the Android platform that fail spectacularly. Look at Amazon. When you buy a cheap Amazon Fire device, if you're one of us, like even moderately techie, the first thing you look at is like, oh, can I get this game? No. Oh, can I do this with it? No. Well, how do I sideload apps onto it? So I don't think Microsoft is going to go that route. Where this makes more sense to me and where it's more interesting, have you guys heard of the Windows 10X platform?
Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. So for those of you who don't know, it's Windows core. So it's basically the core of what Windows is, but it's going to kind of replace what Windows in S mode is right now, where you can only run apps from the Windows Store. At one point, they were going to add x86 functionality into it so that you could run legacy applications, but they were going to be sandboxed. They recently rolled that back and said that you are only going to be able to operate out of apps in the App Store. So I think what this is Microsoft's way of boosting up that application number in the Microsoft Store so that when they launch Windows 10X, they can say, now with all of your favorite apps from the Windows Store and Android.
So here's a question. I wonder if this is in a weird way related to the Epic Games Apple Google fight thing going on. This has kind of showed me that there's really a monopoly on each platform of app stores. So if you want to be on Android, you have to use the Play Store. If you want to be on Apple, you have to use the app, what do they call it? Just App Store?
App Store.
For those fruity people.
Yeah. Guess which one uses Apple?
Feed the hatred inside you.
But
Come to the dark side. We have cookies.
There's nothing wrong with Apple.
No, you pretend
And
you have.
better
Perfectly
phones.
legitimate.
I really
Legitimate
actually have like
platform.
600 cookies over there.
I have these, so
I've got like 10 pounds of that over there.
4761. Anyway, what I would like to see happen, as much as on, Windows, I dislike how it works with Steam and with Origin. Well, Origin's going away, but with Steam and with Epic Game Store and with what's the other one? There's another one too. Anyway, Blizzard. Yeah, you play Blizzard.
Yeah.
How each
Battle
one
Net.
has its own exclusive. What I would like to see on Android or on Apple is maybe competing Play stores or competing app stores or whatever. And I wonder if Microsoft wants to get into this game and sees the writing on the wall as far as legislation requiring this. Because what I don't get is why back in the 90s there was a huge huge monopoly issue with Bill Gates and Microsoft because Windows had Internet Explorer, so they had the operating system plus the methodology to get out on the internet. And to me, this seems like even a more egregious violation of that.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's one thing for Google because you do have the ability to sideload. Like you can, if you go into your settings and say, allow from third-party sources, there are other third-party app stores out there that you can download. Like, if I wanted to, I could put the Amazon Marketplace on my phone. No problem. There's another really popular one that only is open source developed apps. I can't remember what it's called. And then there's another super popular one over in China that is just Chinese applications. But, I mean, you could just download any random APK off the internet and install it to your phone. Apple, you can't. You cannot sideload apps without breaking the phone. It can't be done. I used to have an Apple. That's actually part of the reason I moved away from it in the iPhone 4S era, is because you couldn't just, you couldn't make a program yourself without paying Apple a stupid amount of money per month for the access to tools. You also had to develop on a Mac in order to develop apps for that platform. And you had to pay the extra money. And then you could run that app on your phone, and only your phone, until it was approved by Apple and put into the Play Store. And although I don't do a ton of development, I do enough that I enjoy being able to make an APK of something for a quick prototype to see what it looks like. And if I want to see what it looks like on a different device, I can grab my son's phone, my wife's phone. I can grab one of you guys' phones, except for yours, Charlie.
Also,
don't
we
wanna
don't live
interrupt
in the
you,
same
'cause
state.
You've got to
Well,
But I actually design and write apps through Google's App Sheet, and it is utilized androgynously on any device. I can download App Sheet from the Apple Store, and then I can run any of the apps I've created that is not made on a Mac, not required to be authorized before being able to be distributed. Because
Well, I think that was a whole
infrastructure
thing.
is based on a already serviced app.
right, but you can't access base level hardware. You have to go through the approved API calls that are already approved for that Google app and then passed on. You can't design like from ground up protocols, APIs, stuff like that.
I guess
And
where it really is the end user's level. Are we talking like service level 2 and higher? You know, your Cisco CCNA folks, or
yeah,
your average Joes? Because
yeah,
your average
and
Joes don't give a shit.
you're right. You're right. But your average Joes are not the ones doing most of the programming. There are
Well, it's
options
a
out
company
there for
issue.
people to do basic stuff, and that's great because that wasn't a thing when I was doing it on, iOS version whatever
No.
came on the 4S. Those weren't a thing yet.
Either way,
Apple was still very much locked down. But go ahead, Cody.
I was going to say, let's get back to bringing Microsoft into this. So I
Yeah.
wonder if Microsoft will then, if this is a play into that, or if you think there's something else going on here.
I mean, it could definitely be that too, but I mean, Windows, like in the current environment, really isn't affected by what's going on because you can take any Windows computer currently, download any random thing you want off of the web, run it, and yeah, you may get a Trojan or you may get, unwanted software, or hey, that Express install also threw on,
Yahoo!
McAfee and Yahoo and 5 extra search bars in your browser, but
How
you
big
can do
you
it.
make the top of your browser?
Oh my god.
The biggest I've seen is 3/4 of the screen.
Yeah.
The more search
No,
bars,
I
the
think-
better. The more.
I think it could be part of that, but that ties back into 10X. I really think this pivots solely around their development of 10X. Because you're right, they could be looking at all of this other litigation going, if we're not going to allow, x86 applications to run on this, we're going to be the only app store on this, which is great for us. But look at all the trouble that Apple's getting in right now.
Yeah.
Look at all of the questions that are getting thrown Google's way, and I mean, Google at least can be like, well, you can sideload, you can install whatever, it's fine. You just have to go into settings.
I foresee it'll be interesting to see where basically the Justice Department reviewing all the tech companies, what that actually leads to. I'm very interested in where this is going because it seems like I mean, I have strangely enough, I actually have good feelings about all of this because it seems like our government is learning about technology slowly, but it's happening. It's not just Ron Wyden. So we'll see. We'll see what this develops into. I'm seeing good things in the future. So
Yeah.
Well, you're
hope
seeing all
so.
these. Sorry, keep interrupting you.
Go ahead.
Unprofessional,
No, go,
Colton.
no, you haven't talked,
but-
Colton.
Oh, well, you're seeing all these companies trying to position themselves to. Well, they're again, as you said, they're trying to predict what's going on with the Justice Department, but they're trying to put themselves in a position to continue to be the top dogs. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of where capitalism is, though. You want to be the top dog. You want to be the one making money. But at the same time, you gotta do it right.
it's all about money. These tech giants are the biggest companies in the world. They're playing the long game. I mean, the fact that Microsoft and Google and Apple too, they can put all these projects out, and then if it's not profitable to their standards in any way, they'll kill it, and it's dead.
Oh yeah, you've
Oh, yeah.
seen
Well,
Google.
like the Google Photos.
It seems like they're putting the feelers out there to see if something grabs, something bites, and then oh look, now we're making all the money again.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean, I can't.
It's a good thing on some levels. I mean,
Yeah,
I
I don't blame them at all. Where I draw the line, these tech companies are data, what they do with data, and also buying their competitors. So both of those are the problematic issues for me when it comes to any of these companies. And also with Amazon, which is kind of buying your competitors, but instead swindling your competitors to be on your platform and then stealing
using the data.
Yeah, using
to
the data, like
build an Amazon basic product.
yeah, how much is Bob's homeschool knitting selling their caps for? Like, oh, those are selling really well. Let's create an Amazon's basics version of that and call them Bill's Amazon Basics caps.
So
Sell it for
interesting
$5
story.
Green,
less.
baby. It's all about the green.
Interesting story there. I froze my ass off at work yesterday. My new office at work, the heater in it is controlled from the floor above me.
Oh no.
And they
Heat
are
rises.
like just the perfect temperature. I am not. My office, when I measured, I had one of those stupid infrared
The COVID thermometers.
checking it. Yeah. COVID thermometer hit the walls of my office yesterday, and I was sitting at like 62 to 63 degrees.
Wow.
And I was just freezing all day. So I've been wanting a heated motorcycle vest so that I can ride earlier in the season and later in the season and night rides. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to buy one of those now and just, have it be like a nice regular style vest, but also heated, so that next time my office is 62 degrees, I can plug in a USB battery pack and be like, ha, I'm warm now. It is amazing looking at like those kind of products and going, okay, $200, $200, $100, $100, $100. You get down to like the $80 level and you start seeing all of these just random brand names, and you start looking at like the product pictures between, this product A, product B, product C, and it's like, this is the same jacket, just with a different name sewn onto it.
Well,
And then you see an Amazon Basics version selling for like $10 less, and it's the same one.
So
all of these other Chinese knockoffs are.
Yeah, you've got all the drop shippers that live in some place like Chiang Mai, Thailand, that are doing this and will sell you their book and their webinar on how to drop ship. And then you've got the Amazon basics of them. So it's interesting how they feed down. So there's somebody actually being creative, creating that. Then they're like, oh, this is good. We're going to redo that. It's interesting, but... Yeah, it's I have less problem with the Chinese knockoffs than I do with the platform, the person operating the platform, then using the platform data to also be a seller of something on that platform. I mean, I guess this is old because if you take the same argument to Safeway, Safeway does it too. So Safeway not only sells, milk, they also sell their own branded milk as well.
Right.
So I don't know how to argue this. We're getting into this kind of really weird area where I don't know if there should be legislation or there shouldn't be. Either way, it's an interesting conversation to have. And we've gotten a little bit further off topic again, but this time that's my fault regarding it. But
that's all right.
Android apps on PC, if this is a thing, I'm looking forward to it.
I can't wait to play Pokemon Go from my desktop and be annoyed
or
that there's no
Surface
fucking
Pro.
Pokemon around.
Or I can operate
that you
Pokemon
can't
Go.
walk anywhere in it.
Surface Go.
You can still play
with
it though.
LTE.
Oh yeah, or you could change GPS location, get all those rare Pokemon.
I was gonna say, yeah, show up in I don't know, fucking China.
There.
Well, maybe not China.
So-
Thailand.
So that's one of the other things that a lot of the articles I've been seeing are like, hey, comment on what app you would want to see, what app you would want to use. So I posit that to the council of minds here. What would you realistically want to use?
Instagram. Because
That's a popular one.
yeah, and I think that should make a point to Instagram that they should be able to allow you to upload a photo from your damn computer because people want that. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if I still haven't figured out the reason for that. This is verging into a Cody's rant episode.
It's to make you use the Facebook interface. Because you
Maybe.
can do it through
Facebook.
Facebook.
That's probably why, because I noticed the other day I wasn't doing a search for Ergotron monitor arms, but I was sure talking about it, and I had Instagram on my phone, and I had the permission so it could use my microphone. Guess what happened when I pulled up Instagram? Ergotron monitor arm. And like, nope, Instagram, I'm sorry. You've lost my trust. Because I don't use the Facebook app on my phone because of that same reason. Stop listening to me. I don't like it. You're being creepy. It's like somebody standing next to you going, hey, I know you're searching for that. Hey, come here. I really want, how we're talking about the Google, if Google was a person videos, but that's different because they went like the positive way with Google. I want to see like Google as a creeper video because that's really, or Facebook as a creeper, watching you all the time. Anyway, sorry, tangent again. Please take over for me. Don't stop me from
Okay,
speaking.
no. So Instagram, okay, that's a good one. What else?
I mean, honestly, all the apps I use, at least for my
I have to get
personal,
my phone out.
like, I can use them on the computer in some way. There's no Android-specific app that, at least in my user experience,
Snapchat.
Line. Which
What's Line?
nobody here except for Colton will know what that is.
it's a messaging app.
Yeah, it's really
Oh.
popular in Asia, like Korea. It was actually created in the 2011 tsunami in Japan because the calling over the
Oh.
phone network didn't work, so they they had Line for that, and then it's spread. If you go to South Korea and landing in South Korea, you'll immediately see characters from Line at the airport. And it's got
I mean,
this-
Charlie can't even really answer that because he's eventually going to be able to do that anyways. Use, I guess, iPhone apps on a Mac, in a Mac OS environment.
That's
Pause.
that
Pause.
is currently available.
I
Oh.
don't currently own a Mac. And I will not be buying a Mac.
Oh, that's right.
I do custom build PCs, and my, I've got iPad, iPhone, Apple Watch, but they're smooth, they're functional, they don't break often, they're well supported, and their shit doesn't get hacked nearly as frequently. That
So
was the
I guess the
initial reason.
question applies to you, but from an Apple perspective, what App Store app would you like to be able to use on your Windows PC
Snapchat.
if they ever decide
so
to
I
do
can
that?
do the stupid filter that Cody hates, but in wide.
Do not bring
There
that
is-
to explicit. No.
No,
You
no,
stay silent.
there is a virtual camera app that I can't remember what it's called. I will try and find it, and if I find it before Cody makes it,
Okay, I'm inserting a picture right here that's
Oh,
going to
no.
drive Cody fucking nuts.
I think this.
Thank you, Colton. I thank you in advance.
So I just found it. I hate that so much. And then the high-pitched voice.
It's the only one I use.
it's
It's
That
the
has
only
to
filter
be-
I use.
The ugly squirrel.
That has to be the YouTube thumbnail. just saying. Sorry, Cody. I'm sorry, Mr. Editor. It's
Cody,
the people got to see it, man.
For England, James.
Like right now, you.
For England, James.
I hate you all.
You're
It's very fitting. You're at the bottom of that, under all the rubble now. By the way, I just found out that Line apparently has a PC app, so that I'm going to install after
dang.
this.
cool.
So I don't. That's a good point. It's like I want that to happen, but I don't have anything burning that's like Oh, I know what it is. So the Kindle is terrible
Yes.
on PC. So I would
Yes.
like to have the phone app for PC, which is strange because normally I hate if there's two apps, I hate the phone app variant of it. But I don't know what Amazon was on when they made the Kindle app, because it's like if you have, again, a Surface Pro, then it's problematic. Oh, some of the games. Again, when you're using a Surface Pro, some of the game, like for instance, FTL on Android is touchscreen on the tablet. They don't actually have a phone version, if I remember correctly. But on PC, if you're using a Surface Pro, you have to get this weird mod for it in order to work. So yeah, I guess there's little things like that, but there isn't, I guess it's not quite the Snapchat filter thing that Mjolnir wants to plague me with before
That's already in the show notes.
dies at the bottom of that pit of rubble. And I get rescued by a helicopter.
I was the same way.
Yeah,
I heard about it, I read about it, and I was like, this is going to be amazing. I can't wait for this to happen. And then at the bottom of that first article, it's like, but what would you do? And it's like, I got to thinking about it, and it's like, well, my fantasy football app. You can use the website. My, credit card apps or whatever. They have website versions.
Yeah.
And it ends up being the Kindle app.
GoPro.
But I mean, I read on an actual Kindle.
I could... GoPro would be nice, again, for Surface.
Yeah.
Because the GoPro software for the PC just is not good.
Well, and they discontinued the GoPro Quick software on PC. Charlie. No.
No.
I'm just trying to piss off Cody just a little bit more. Just
I
a little
love it.
bit more. Now I'm just trying to make him sad.
Yeah, that does make me sad. The falling of the satellite.
It's
Anyway,
all right.
Well-
I'm flying off in the helicopter.
no,
Yes, I'm James
I
Bond.
know that there will be stuff that we will use, once that functionality comes out, if it does come out. But yeah,
Ooh. My
go ahead.
the software for my my drone goggles that allow me to actually stream it, to be able to do that on my Surface versus my phone would actually be excellent. I would love that. So I think as that happened, there we go.
There it is.
Yep.
Haha.
Chat.
Anyway,
Always love the gold eye.
I think as it was out and I think people would find a lot of uses for it, but it's probably not the biggest main one. Would probably be Instagram. Strangely enough.
I guess
Instagram and Kindle.
only time will tell, don't you think?
Yep.
I think so. And I think time has lapsed on this episode. We said it was going to be a short one. We're already at 45 minutes now. So let's call this sucker done. Colton, where can we find you?
My name is Colton Roper. You can find me on, Instagram. I actually made a post on Instagram. On YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook Gaming, just all over the place under Seeker4761. I'm also a contributor to thetechpirate.net. You know what? Yeah. I don't know who you're pointing at. I'm going to say Charlie. I'm hoping that's Charlie.
He was pointing at
I
the
was
logo.
pointing at the tech pirate behind me.
Oh, my bad. Charlie,
Yeah,
where can we find you, though?
I am Charlie Stiffler, also Mjolnir on Twitch and YouTube and TWIL and all of the things, and I will be contributing to the Tech Pirate by the end of December. Mark my words.
They are marked.
Yep.
So marked. Cody, where can we find you?
I hope to be drinking right there, but I can't, so you won't find me there yet. But you can find me on YouTube for Striving to Fail, which I am failing at uploading any new videos whatsoever, so I'm succeeding at that. At the techpirate.net, I have one article, and then, yeah, Gaming Zito Valder on, I'll let you guess how to spell that, because that'll be fun, on Blizzard, if you want to play Overwatch, or yell as a 13-year-old so I can mute you. Either way, that'll be fun. There, that's me.
All right. And you can find me at thetechpirate.net. You can also find me on YouTube as The Tech Pirate, where my day 0, 30 day, 30
Got put it
day
in front of you.
test. Yeah, unfortunately not able to do the podcast with this. I'm going to look into some
I
potential
will maybe
fixes
send
for
you
it.
my fan, and you can try it with 2 fans and see if it will work.
I think I'm going to have to try doing some maybe work in the shadow cloud gaming or something like that. I don't know.
Just do it outside. Do your podcast outside in the snow.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I could maybe like put it on the other side of my window glass and like run a cable.
Yeah. Bluetooth.
Love it.
A keyboard through the glass. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. But yeah, the day 0's out there, and I should be recording the day 7 with this. Did a little bit of gaming and some other stuff with it. And yeah, you can see my thoughts there on YouTube. And yeah, I think this TWIL is done. Thanks for joining us on this episode of This Week I'm Learning. You can find us wherever you listen to your podcasts, as well as on YouTube at This Week I'm Learning. For you social media peeps out there, you can find us on Twitter at ThisTWIL. If you'd like to contact us, you can send us an email to twil@thetechpirate.net. And if you want to tell us what apps you would use on Android, on Windows, please feel free to do so. I would be.
We'll even listen to the
interested in
Apple folks, because we are open-minded here.
Yep.
Yeah, if you have one of those new fancy M1s and you don't want to part with it so that I can play with it, at least let me know what you want to run on it.
Yeah, tell us
All right.
about it.
Yeah, I would like to hear from someone who is not a YouTube person on how they actually think the M1 is. And before we get
That's-
copyright struck
He's
for
just gonna
Charlie's
be
backgrounds,
blocked out.
That's an episode.
Cody,
Bye,
got
guys.
milk? Do you have milk, Cody?
I do.
Is it the quantity and type that you wish it was?
It's the type. You know, the funny thing is that Dairy Gold milk actually does taste better. It doesn't taste like $4 milk, but damn it, it does taste better than the Lucerne.
Do you know how much I pay for a gallon of milk down here?
Probably not
Like
$8.
$1.90.
$1.90.
$1.90.
Wow.
it's
Yeah.
more than that up here.
Yeah, it is.
I do
Yeah,
like
It's
living in a
3
city
something.
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah.
Everything's stupid cheap. It's awesome.
Yeah, but
Even though we
you know
drink
what I
lizard milk
can
down
do
here.
that's only 20 minutes away,
How do you milk a
or no,
lizard?
40 minutes.
You don't want to know.